depends on what your policy is. Like my husband wears a CPAP machine and they don't pay for a CPAP machine.
$243.
So that's, you know, almost $1,000 out of our pocket.
You would think they would deem that medical necessarily when you can't breathe in your sleep.
Right. He has severe apnea, which increases the risk for a stroke and a heart attack. So.
Breathing is not essential to daily living.
A lot of times when you need a specialty wheelchair, you have to write a letter of medical necessity, or you may have to ask a doctor to write a letter of medical necessity. And in it, you need to make sure that you have the patient's diagnosis in there. The age. This box kind of tells you all kinds of good questions. What range of motion is limited? In other words, if they're in a regular chair, are they going to be able to be mobile? Are they going to be able to propel it? Do they need an automatic chair? Do they need a power chair? Do they need any extra pieces to the chair to prevent for their ability to be able to move it? Like a headrest, does it need to be tilt in space? Like the one child that was in the movie today, he had the switch. So switches can be used to be able to maneuver. What kind of strength does the patient have? If the patient, an example is like my sister, she's got a cardiac problem. She may need a heart transplant. She's not going to be able to propel herself, and if she was wheelchair bound. So you have to take into consideration their cardiac output and the stress that propelling a wheelchair could cause if you were to give them a regular wheelchair. How long is the client expected to use the wheelchair? It could be temporary. If someone was in a motor vehicle accident, you can be in a wheelchair for, you know, a short period of time. It could be a year, it could be 2 years, but maybe eventually they'll get out of it. Yes.
What is that letter called? May I have to write a letter of
Medical necessity.
Thank you.
And since you bring that up again, when you write in your daily notes, we have to show medical necessity. So that would be identifying the problems that the patient has, basically. What is the client's lifestyle and how has it changed, and is the client active or sedentary? So have any of you been involved with like the Special Olympics or any kind of like wheelchair basketball or wheelchair tennis? There's those kinds of things for people who like to participate in sports. So if you're ordering a chair, you might take that into consideration. You may want a lighter weight chair so they'll be better able to move around in their basketball wheelchair, or to play tennis. You want something very lightweight. How will the dimensions of a chair affect the client's ability to transfer to various surfaces? So you all have seen the big chair there with the head support. It's tilt in space. That may be a little bit more challenging to transfer a patient out of, independently more than a different type of chair. So you have to kind of figure out. An example is like a spinal cord injury, like what was the kid's name that lived in Dallas? Josh. Oh, is that his name?
Yeah.
Josh.
He wasn't able to do a spinal cord, a sliding board transfer. I think he may be able to through time because he seemed to be able to sit at the edge of the bed, right? So with him having that ability, in my assessment, I'm thinking, well, you could teach him how to do a sliding board transfer so he could be more independent. And it even said that he was able to drive, right? So somewhere along the line, something improved to where he's able to do those things now, whether he had more therapy or what to help him get in and out of the vehicle and his ability to drive. what is the maneuverability of the wheelchair in the client's home or in the community? Like the fella that was in that home for 40 years.
Right.
Did you notice how he maneuvered his wheelchair? Backwards, right. So maybe we could figure out another type of chair that might be a little bit easier for him to move around in. So he's able to come forward. Going backwards is okay, I guess.
Didn't see